Hello, my astrology family. This is Lada from astrolada.com here with your horoscope for the upcoming lunar eclipse in Sagittarius on the 5th of June 2020. And we're going to speak about each of the signs, how you're going to be influenced, but we will start with the general influence for the whole world and the general meaning of that eclipse for everyone. And behind me is a chart of the eclipse that is happening. It is in Sagittarius. If you can see here, the moon in Sagittarius up here in the screen. Is going to be eclipse, will be seen a lot around the world. It's not a full eclipse, but it is very powerful. It will be felt extremely strongly. It's being felt already because look, it's all those red lines. The eclipse consists of the moon, the sun, and Mars and Neptune. They're all connected with challenging aspects. It's like pulling each one, like being on a cross. It's a cross aspect, you see? And it's like each planet is pulling in its own direction. And as you know, if some of you know, is that lunar eclipses affect the people the most, while solar eclipses affect those in power. But the people, it's us, the normal people. And this eclipse is so challenging because all of the difficult influences, and not only, but because it's happening when the moon is eclipsed on the 5th of June, it will be extremely close to a very belligerent star called Antares, which means the other Mars. It's like Mars, that star. Antares is a bright red star in the sky, and red is associated with war, with belligerence, with fighting. Antares is extremely powerful star according to ancient astrology that the moon, this eclipse will emphasize basically. And Antares is known as the star of attack and counterattack. And in Vedic astrology, and you can see what's happening in the world already, attack, counterattack, you see what's happening in the States with the riots, because the people are being affected. The people are rioting. The moon is the people. It's eclipsed. Like what happens when you're eclipsed? You're the people, and you're eclipsed, you lose your mind. On the star of war, on the star of belligerence, on the star of rebelling, on the star of going against the dark, because Antares is the star that fights with demons. It has an archangel, Oriel. So it is difficult star, but it's again one of the guardians of the sky. Ancient astrology gave it, difficult nature, but they said this is a star through which people fight for their rights, through which people fight if their truth has been in some way trampled, and they rise. So this is being triggered, and with all those difficult aspects with the planet Mars, which is activating the eclipse, which is again of war, of rising, of stress. And on a collective level, you see what's happening, people protesting, all over the world actually. While on a personal level, you can feel the energy of this lunar eclipse in your life, which means you can feel attacked, you can counterattack as well. This is the star of jealousies as well. You can notice a lot of jealousy happening. And because currently the star, together where the eclipse is situated in the sign of Sagittarius in this age, in these 2000 years. Otherwise behind it is the constellation Scorpio. Antares is the heart of the Scorpion. But the sign that's currently there is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about your beliefs, your truths. And Antares is about breaking old molds that are oppressive. So people are rising because the truth is being trampled on, and they're rebelling against old patterns of beliefs, against against their own personal restrictive conditioning and restrictive, and oppressive conditions in their life, and also against oppressive governments and authority on the outer side. So very, very powerful. And it's because of our belief system, because Sagittarius is being enhanced. And Gemini, what you believe, how you perceive reality. And as you can see, it's being challenged very powerfully. And this lunar eclipse is with the South Node. South Node means to release something, to be dissatisfied, to see that it's no longer working. South Node is the dragon's tail in ancient astrology. So you realize some of your old beliefs and some of your are not working, so you're rebelling. So it can be tremendous for the next 3 months, this eclipse, and it's already starting. You feel it. Eclipses are felt a few weeks before lunar eclipses and up to 3 months after that. So the whole world, and you involving personally for 3 months, starting already from now, will be rebelling against the truth, how you've seen it till now. You'd have outgrown old truths, outgrown old world views. Sagittarius is the world view. Oh, this is how it is. This is, you might believe in the politics, or you might have believed till now in the institutions. Whatever you've believed in, whatever you've put out there as someone who you have faith in, this is Sagittarius, someone you have faith in. Well, now you're questioning that. We all are collectively in our personal lives. We're questioning what we have faith in, what we've always believed is true and moral and and bright and shiny. This is Sagittarius, and truthful. Well, now the South Node eclipse is like, is it truly? I think I've outgrown those beliefs. I think I've seized cracks there, in your personal lives as well. Old habits. And what do? The moon, which is your emotional world, which is your feelings on Antares, you react violently. You react angry emotionally. You react it's like want to break the shackles. And Antares is known as a very destructive star. It can be extremely self-destructive as well. That it's negative meaning, because you lash out and you destroy something in the process, because you're like, no, this cannot carry on anymore. It's so strongly emphasized now. But you lash out and you're destructive, like people are being destructive right now. But maybe they've tolerated too long. Or the other way you can act out, which is the highest manifestation of Antares. It's a military star. You prepare strategy. You prepare a plan. You keep your cards close to your chest. Someone attacks you, or your old beliefs start to crumble, and instead of, lashing out, getting angry, which is what this lunar eclipse activates for everyone, you instead take that force of Antares, of the war star, this turbulent energy inside of you, these turbulent feelings. It's very hard to control them now. You have to be a master of some sort, a master yogi or whatever, very spiritual person. You take this force, and with this destructive energy, you destroy the old unnecessary habits in your life. You destroy the old, and full moon is about something ending, completing. You destroy some shackles. You destroy some lies. You destroy some ways of living that you've been conditioned into a very long time, some old beliefs, but strategically, not in a destructive way. You have a plan. Or if you're being attacked by someone, you, instead of counterattacking, you do it in a strategic plan way. And I'm very grateful that I've learned about the nakshatra meaning of this constellation, Antares. It's a nakshatra constellation in Vedic astrology, is known as Yeshta. And I've learned from one of my great friends, an amazing Vedic astrologer, Vic Dikara. You can check his videos on YouTube. Just from his videos and from the books that he sent me that he has written, Yeshta, what it means. Yeshta is the Antares, the star Antares that the lunar eclipse is happening on. He talks about it, that is a star of attacks and counterattacks, but also the strategy is not to react too much, not to lash out, because then you reveal, because you attacked. When Antares is activated, you feel attacked. And someone will try to attack you in that area of your life. Someone, especially because they're jealous of you. Because Antares is a star of winning. It's a star of success, being on the top. Yeshta means the oldest, the best. Yeshta means the best. So for some area, for something, you're the best, or you're very good, you're up there. And because of that, you attract jealousy. Because of that, you attract, attacks from others. And instead of basically lashing out against them, because it will seem like you've lashed out, maybe they've provoked you, Antares, when Antares is activated, people get provoked more easily. But instead of lashing out and shouting and fighting with everyone, because then you give up and you show your cards, and then your enemy knows what your weaknesses are and how to you've revealed your next move, so they know how to attack you, where your weakness is. So Vic Dikara says about this star Antares, the nakshatra Yeshta in Vedic astrology, as it's known, that it's best to react very calmly, strategically, to stay put. Don't react. I know it's going to be very hard now. I know. So if you do, it's okay. You know, you have to be master strategist not to. Master, master Scorpion energy. If you can't, but if you can, you know, not react, your enemy, so whoever is reacting now, they'll become even bolder. They'll start attacking you and poking you and provoking you, even less and less subtly, in a more direct way. And then they're the asshole in the eyes of others. Then others will see that they're the ones like furying, and because you'll be first provoked subtly, and they're waiting for you to respond very quickly. So you give up your weaknesses. But instead, like Big Dikara says, with Yeshta and Antares, be very strategic, because Antares is the heart of the Scorpion. Be like a Scorpio. I'm not saying like keep your grudges and plan your revenge, but be strategic about your next step. You know, if you're being attacked on social media, don't lash out, don't start fighting. It's going to be very challenging with all those difficult aspects. Instead, take a deep breath, count your whatever, 7,000, and don't react. And then they'll provoke you more and more. And they'll stop provoking you at one moment, or they'll just start looking like the biggest jerk. And you won't be said like, why did they suddenly react like that? They can't keep their cool. They're not, you know, so this is the strategy if you can keep it. But on the collective level, all over the world, always the planets manifest the lowest possible, because humanity consciousness is still vibrating at a lower level. But individually, especially if you're watching this video, if you're interested in astrology and spirituality, your vibration is much higher. You're already open to the higher realities and possibilities. So you on a personal level can control this explosive, rebellious, self-destructive energy that is there, and turn it to your advantage, because the ultimate goal of Antares is to win wars and to still be the best and to become the best despite oppositions and jealousies. So where is this happening in your life? You don't even need to know astrology, but you're noticing it somewhere in your life, where you're dismantling old beliefs. And the thing is, it can be external, because eclipses are about someone provoking you, you provoking someone, you know. But it can also be internal, as I said. It can be about destroying old habits that are keeping you slave, that are going against the higher reality of you. Because Antares is the guardian of the threshold of the invisible worlds. Antares is the guardian of the threshold of higher consciousness, or a life. You go through some battle, through a dark night of the soul, where you battle your own demons, your own weaknesses. And especially on full moon eclipses, it's come to, you know, it cannot grow anymore. This thing is no longer necessary in your life. It's the most powerful eclipse this year to release old habits and behaviors that are negative and self-destructive towards you. But in the process, you can get very angry at yourself. You can get very angry at your own personal situation, or at someone else that promotes you. And you can just want to totally destroy this relationship, or you can become more self-harming towards yourself. But it kind of escalates, and that's it. You come no more. And Antares will help you overcome and win that battle as the perfect strategy. So if you decide to quit something, you know, make a plan. What are you going to do if you feel triggered or tempted? Do it more strategically rather than on a whim. All right, so this is powerful, powerful eclipse, powerful, powerful energies. We're feeling it collectively. We're feeling it externally, internally. Also, part of it is Neptune. There is a possibility that Neptune is making hard aspects to the Sun, Venus, and Moon there of the eclipse. Not only Mars. Mars brings also the angry side, and that's it. I'm going to take some action to improve my life no matter what. But Neptune is sneaky. So be careful about sneakiness in the next 2-3 weeks. And actually the next 3 months, if the eclipse is directly activating something in your horoscope. Sneakiness or subversive actions, Neptune, Mars. Someone acting behind the scenes that is attacking you it's going to be subtle attacks sometimes. Hidden attacks in manipulative nature. Or even being tricked, or even being misled in a direct way. And who is going to feel this eclipse? Everyone, to some extent. The eclipse will fall somewhere in your horoscope. So if you're Virgo, it's gonna fall in your fourth house, you know, we're going to speak about that. But people have a lot of planets in their horoscope, you see. So who is going to feel it most powerfully? People that have the eclipse activating their horoscope. And my birth chart calculator shares, sorry, just a second, and you can use it for free. I have the eclipses indicated there. And you can check if there is an eclipse happening, and the eclipses are indicated by lunar solar eclipse, but I don't think this one, the program takes it as a lunar eclipse because it's too white. It's like 15 degrees away from the nodes. So it's very partial lunar eclipse, but still is very strong. You can feel it. And so I don't think it will be indicated with the lunar eclipse this time, but you can see if you have this eclipse if you have any sun transits, yellow transits from the period of the 1st till the period of the 8th or 9th. You know, it usually shows only 7 days ahead if you can buy a whole month for $6 only. But you can enter your details here, go to my birth chart calculator, register, put your birth details, and you'll get something like that. You'll see your transits for the next 7 days. 40,000 people using it for free already. It's it's really great tool. And you see, for example, this horoscope around already the 2nd, the 3rd. I'll start looking from the 1st of June. If you're having to around the 6th and 7th, they don't show here because it hasn't unlocked them. It unlocks them day by day for 7 days ahead only. But this person, yellow transits, the sun transit. So this person is going to be having sun transit, 1, 2, 3 sun transits, especially around the 4th, 5th, 6th. So this person is going to be very strongly activated by the lunar eclipse because the sun is part of the lunar eclipse. So if you see sun transits, it means it's activating you. So you can, and if the transit is easy, the eclipse will actually be very helpful for you. You can release something, you can remove something that is, you know, even if you're provoked, you can react in a more in a way that is more in control. You can turn lemons into lemonade much easier without big complications. And the easy aspects are, here it is, the trine, the sextile. So if you see trine or sextile like here, when you put the mouse, you see it says the aspect is sextile. And of course you can read what it means specifically, this transit for you, and enhance it with the information about the eclipse, but in a positive way. The winning, the overcoming some dark side, the not reacting to provocations and actually turning a provocation to your benefit, you know. But the more difficult aspects are the conjunction. It's very powerful. When you see conjunction here, if you're having any yellow transit with conjunction, you know, yellow sun transit, with conjunct anything, doesn't matter what in your horoscope, wow. Okay, so this eclipse will really activate you. Or the square is a hard aspect, and the opposition, you see here it says square. So this person seems to have more triggers, difficult of the eclipse, conjunction, opposition, square, or opposition. The opposition, you'll read, it's written opposition. So that's how I want, and you can read what it means for you, what this transit means for you, plus add the meaning of the eclipse that I'm talking about. Because here the specific eclipse is not included in the program because it's very wide, or as I said, it's very partial eclipse. Okay, let me stop sharing. So this is how you can use it. If you haven't made an account already for the free transit calendar, do. People adore it all over the world. It is free. It updates every 7 days. It shows you up to 5 to 7 days ahead, or for $6 you can see a whole month ahead, or for a whole year if you want. So let's start now by the signs, and I'm gonna do them 2 by 2, because you see eclipses always include opposing signs. So both houses are triggered, both areas of life, where the moon is, where the sun, and in this case Venus will be. So we're starting with Aries and Libra together. Libra, Aries, sun, moon, or ascendant. I would always advise you to check your ascendant sign first, then the moon, and then the sun. So Aries, Libra, if you're Aries or Libra, this eclipse is happening in the houses that are 5th and 11th. So you can receive provocations in those two areas of life. You can feel attacked and you can feel like you want to attack back. Fifth house is with your loved ones in your love life. Is it? Wait, just a second. Let me so from Aries, just let me figure it out in my head. Yes, for Aries and Libra is the ninth and the third houses. Sorry. So what is the ninth and third houses that you can feel attacked or counterattack? It's your opinions. It's your beliefs. Exactly that. You can find yourself feeling much more triggered online, and third house and ninth house, they rule your opinions versus other opinions, other beliefs. You can feel triggered online or face to face with relatives or siblings, third house, or people in your everyday environment, colleagues, workmates, teammates, or teachers or people that you admire, the ninth house, or father figures, or figures of higher knowledge. You might be clashing heads with them. You might feel attacked. Some of you might feel attacked in their beliefs, in their economic and intellectual understandings. Some of them might feel attacked just by this third house, like people around you in your everyday life with their own beliefs and your beliefs. So you feel provoked. You feel provoked, and you have to, remember the strategy is keep your cards closer if possible. Take this negative energy that has built up and turn it into something constructive, rather than into bashing, fighting, expletive words, and breaking up relationships with siblings, with relatives, with people that are close and far away from you. Third house is close, ninth house is far away from you. And it's, hopefully you can turn it into some kind of more beneficial energy. And you can also feel jealousies coming from such areas, as I said, workmates, teammates, or people close or far away from you, or especially on intellectual ideologies or belief systems of any sort, clashing heads with such things. Maybe because you're really good in a certain area, in your team of workmates, or in your as a teacher of some sort, or with your belief system, but still you can feel attacked and antagonized, and you can feel annoyed at other people and trying to attack and antagonize them yourself. So try and keep calm, and you can turn this to something positive. And it can also mean that it's time for you to release certain of those relationships if they're too destructive, if they're too unfair. The Antares, the eclipse, it cannot tolerate untruth. It's in the sign of Sagittarius. So if they're violating your own truth, you can really cut connections with such people in such environments. Am I right? So be careful. And also be careful if you're traveling somewhere for the next couple of weeks, because there can be tensions a little bit there. There can be some stressful situations. And if you're in anything connected to business or import and export, this can indicate, this can indicate that they can be, and now let's consider also the high manifestation of this eclipse, which is to achieve success, but after overcoming a battle, after overcoming some big challenge. So you can achieve such success after overcoming a challenge in regards to something connected to higher education, with your beliefs, connected to legal papers and documents, connected to teaching, to educating, to training, to giving information, to papers and documents. So this, and to work in small group environments, to dominate and to succeed there, but after opposition or some kind of crisis. Okay, then we go to the other pair of signs, Taurus and Scorpio. For you, I'm doing them in pairs. So if you're Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant, or Scorpio sun, moon, or ascendant, for you, it's happening on the axis of the second and eighth houses. Okay, so what can happen? They can be power struggles. The full moon eclipse is about power struggles, this one in particular. Power struggles about material and emotional financial resources. Second and eighth house is my money versus your money. So you might feel provoked by a business partner or a client about fighting, disputing some money or some resources, or with your marriage partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, that you're like, something escalates. You can feel stress there. You can feel that you're challenged, power struggle, money, how much I give, how much you give, um, how much I do. And it's not only money always. This second and eighth houses are resources that we give to each other, that we exchange, emotional, financial support that you give to each other. There can be some kind of a showdown or whatever it's called, like tension escalating about fighting for the truth. Who gives in, who gives too much, how to give and receive equally. If it's something is unfair there, speaking out your truth in regards to that. Maybe one partner is not too sexual and the other one, a power struggle happens and you feel provoked, oh, they don't love me, so you start bickering with them because they're not a sexual. So this needs to be rebalanced in some way. This needs to be addressed. So it's not only about financial resources, but emotional, psychological. But especially for Scorpio, for Gemini, sorry, for Taurus, the eclipse is happening in their eighth house, so deep psychological transformation is possible. But they can feel like they're attracting powerful power struggles, especially in regards to, I would say even Scorpios, both for sexual matters, for matters regarding intimacy, just power struggle in the relationship, who has the dominating hand. And it's not only personal relationships, as I said, it might be business or work, peer, equal relationships of any sort. And as we said, second house is also power struggles, so feeling attacked or counterattacked about on your values. You can feel attacked on your values if you're Scorpio, Taurus. Second house is what you value, what you consider worthy, and someone is, not agreeing with you on that. So again, can you take this energy, release some unhealthy patterns of give and receive from a relationship, or even some possessions and resources that are toxic for you, that are no longer necessary, old clothes, old furniture, or old possessions, or even let go of. Maybe you've been fighting over money with someone, or over what is yours, what is mine. Let it go, or just be very strategic about it. Don't lash out like the Scorpio thing. But you can have a great win, not Scorpio, but the Antares energy. And again, you can have a win eventually in that. As we said, it's a win, so you can achieve some good financial success within the next 2-3 weeks, or some big win psychological transformation, the eighth house, or resources that come to you from others or your own resources. You can have like a big win, or it's like some source of money that comes, but first it might instigate some kind of a fight. All right. Or some kind of an inner battle. And as I said, eighth and second houses are what is truly valuable. You kind of might realize what is truly valuable for you, so you can really eliminate. Eighth houses to eliminate, to excrete the things that are not healthy for you anymore. It's very kind of, that's the end. Actually, I think Taurus and Scorpio can be quite final in some about some area of their life, about some psychological obsessions or psychological patterns that they had. They can be totally ruthless and cut it out. Then if you're Gemini or Sagittarius, of course you will feel this eclipse, lunar eclipse, the strongest over the next 3 months, especially if you happen to have something around the 15th degree of Sagittarius or Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or I would say from the 10th to the 20th degree. I'll give it 10 degrees, 10 degree in Sagittarius or Gemini till 20. Wow, this eclipse will trigger you strongly. I strongly recommend you watch everything, the whole first part, when I'm talking generally what this eclipse is, because for you, every word of the general introduction is personal. It's not just generally, it affects you like that. So check it out. But it's about me versus you. Some power struggle can happen between you and relationships. Me versus you. With Taurus and Scorpio, it was about what I give and receive versus what you give and receive. With Sagittarius and Gemini, it will be who am I versus who you are, who wants to dominate, and I think the upper hand might be in the hands of, I don't know, I think the sun wins in this case. So for Sagittarius, they might have to be a bit more cautious. So others might have the upper hand. And for Sagittarius, they need, because the sun eclipses the moon, it hides it. So Sagittarius have to be a bit more careful to keep their cool and to have the strategic approach that I talked about. Keep your cards close to your chest. But if you get triggered, and it's going to be very possible whether you're Sagittarius or Gemini, you know, uh, be, if you can come, it can indicate that you might want to eliminate some people from your life, some close people. It can create some crisis in your personal relationship or business relationship with partners, with clients of some sort. So you have to be most vigilant. But it's also indicating, and you might feel like jealousies and knives and daggers towards you, someone being jealous because you're best at something or good at something. And you might be the one that's feeling triggered by another and you really want to attack. You might be the one, it's attack and counterattack. Are you doing that attacking, or is someone else doing the attacking? It can come from both ways. But at the same time, it's very powerful because the star Antares is the star of a winner who can win, and who can, and because it's a full moon, it can be a completion. You can bring something to a completion, to a full picture. And so, for example, for Sagittarius people, it might mean they're completing some very important phase or a project and they're being rewarded, but it will come first through some crisis or stress or go energy, or kind of feeling challenged energy. For Gemini, it can be completion in regards to relationships, something coming to an end, or something culminating, taking the next level, or some reward that comes after a bit of a struggle, some winning through another person, through partnerships, through combining your energies with another, something you've been working on with another, that it can culminate now and you see results. But again, it's tense, so be careful. All right. So then we do another pair, Capricorn and Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The eclipses are happening for them in the 12th and 6th houses. There will be power struggles for some of you if you're Capricorn and Cancer at the workplace, for example. You might feel like knives and daggers thrown at you at the workplace. You might feel very much more challenged there. You want to rebel. The working conditions, the working environment, 6th house is that. Or about your health. You can become ruthless because this is the star Antares, and like a strategic planner, how to, and especially if some health issue gets triggered now, which gets activated, for both of you, whether you're Cancer or Capricorn, if some health issue gets activated, gets inflamed now, you can become just so angry that you're no longer willing to tolerate this kind of thing coming, not dealing with this health issue. So it can be what pushes you over, what tips you over to really take ruthless measures and strategic measures. Well calculated, Antares is well calculated to start a war on this health issue, to really tackle it with exercise or with some new routines, and what else? It's also the 12th house that gets involved in this lunar eclipse for you. Capricorn, Cancer, they can be a push and pull. You can feel like secretly attacked by secret enemies as well, not obvious enemies. 6th house is obvious enemies, or people from your work, but people that are criticizing. You can feel, if you're Capricorn and Cancer, this more strongly as criticism towards you. It's but the 12th house is also activated, so something secretive. You might figure out that someone secretive is trying to harm you, or is being jealous, or it's sending some malevolent sparks towards you, or some actions behind the scenes that are happening. It can escalate. You can become aware of it. And again, what is the best option, like Vic Dicara says, is keep your cards close. Don't go out on a trigger happy shooting around, because it will get out of control. There's too many tight aspects. There is no relief. No one wants to back down, basically, or no one wants to use kind of gentle ways out of it. So keep your cards closer. Don't give up how you feel, possibly, and just don't respond if possible. and plan your next step. But also it can indicate that you're releasing and eliminating certain people related to this 12 and 6th house. You might just say, okay, I'm done with this gossiping environment. I'm out of it. I'm done with this unhealthy habit. 12th house and 6th house are connected to unhealthy habits through which you escape reality. One is in a physical, medical way, that where you self-medicate, the 6th house with substances. The other one is the 12th house, is any way that you want to escape. It might be by spending, it's house of spending. It might be by any self-sabotaging behaviors that you do, might be by drinking again, or so it can, on the personal level, this you can really, like a bad habit or unhealthy addiction of any sort, can really kind of piss you off so much and trigger you through some crisis even, or just becoming so much more aware of it that you're like, enough, and you become as strong as this archangel Ariel that rules the eclipse on Antares, the war star, that you start a war on those unhealthy habits, and with a strategic planning you eliminate them. It's fantastic to eliminating all things from your life now. Cancer and Capricorn. All right. And I have more in depth if you watch the monthly horoscopes, but now I wanted to, focus on that element. And okay, so we continue to Leo Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this pair. Leo Aquarius is happening on the axis, the eclipse of your 5th and 11th houses. There can be some inner struggle between, or a struggle that's connected to what you basically, about what you consider, it is value. These are value houses, the 5th and the 11th houses that are being triggered for you. For Leo, they can feel tensions in the love life, but for Aquarius as well. With a loved person or with children, there can be some power struggles. They can feel attacked in regards to that. They might want to fight in regards to protect a loved one, or with a loved one. The 5th house rules loved ones. Or have a power struggle with a child, power struggle with a lover, partner, about give and receive of love. And it can be some push and pull between your friends and your loved ones. Your friends or your social environment demands one thing, your friend demands another thing. But you can feel really attacked in regards to your creations if you're Aquarius or Leo, in regards to your creative plan, something that you've created and someone attacks it. Or maybe they attacked your brilliance and intelligence. The 5th and 11th house are connected to that. Or you can feel attacked on social media. The 11th house is groups of people that you're a member of. You might feel attacked by fans. You might feel attacked by clients, the 11th house, or people that you work in a group environment with. So both for both Aquarius and for Leo, both are possible, both houses, that they can feel antagonized and attacked. And again, as I said, the best strategy is to keep your cards close, to strategize rather than lash out. But if it's not possible, it's not possible. Also, it's possible to have some expenses in regards to some long-term projects, the 11th house, because Mars from the 2nd or 8th houses of Leo Aquarius, which are financial, is triggering. So be a bit more cautious for the next 2 weeks. For the next 2-3 weeks financially, it can be a bit of destabilizing of your finances with this eclipse. Because Mars is squaring also financial houses, earnings and gains, the 11th, the 5th, from the 2nd or the 8th. So just be careful there. Fights with friends on diverging opinions, on diverging belief systems. Some of you might even want to eliminate certain friends, or just say that enough is enough. I no longer want to be a member of this YouTube group or this Facebook group or whatever. And just remember, it's very easy to get antagonized. Your intelligence and creative ideas versus my intelligence and creative ideas, the 5th and the 11th houses. How your vision of how something should work out is the 5th house, and the 11th is, my vision is the 5th house, yours is the 11th. So there is a push and pull here. You say you're working in a team to develop some creative project or a vision, and you're pushing for one thing, and power struggles can happen. And you can feel attacked. Well, they have a different creative vision and they attack you. So this is the push and pull energy that happens. But also on the positive side, it can mean escalation for some completing some creative project for some of you, wrapping it up, seeing great results after some opposition, after some in a struggle. For others of you, if you're Aquarius or Leo, it can be culmination of romantic relationships that you complete or that you take to the next level after some stress, for example, or completion of some project or business deal. The 11th house is also involved. Some gainful activity, some long-term project, long goal project that it culminates, but it's stressful towards the completion of it. It kind of really presses your buttons. It challenges you to mobilize all your knowledge, all your kind of abilities to manifest it and to bring it to a conclusion and to see its results. All right, so that's Aquarius, Leo. Loved ones, romantic relationship, just more, be careful not to be triggered there with the eclipses. Especially Leo is more susceptible this time. Leo rising, sun or moon, that they feel attacked or that they feel counterattack, or jealousy of some sort. While Aquarius more with colleagues, with friends, with like-minded people, they can feel, or fans or clients, that they can feel this attack or counterattack or jealousies or power struggle. And then Pisces and Virgo. For you, the struggle is personal life, career, outside world, inside world. Power struggles can happen with your family life versus your career, For example, for Gemini, it's more likely that, not Gemini, Pisces. For Pisces, the power struggle is more likely to happen with authority figures and bosses. But not only, just listen to both, because it's opposition, it can play both ways. Some power struggles, or jealousy pointed at you because of your social position, because of your achievements, because of your career, because of your leadership skills, because of something with work, or bosses or authority figures attacking you. You can feel quite attacky towards institutions, quite rebellious and angry towards institutions or people in power as well. This is what can escalate for you the tension, but also it can mean you can complete some project there with your work, get some recognition after some opposition, after some struggles that you have come through, and that now it culminates and you receive some social approval or recognition. But there is, for both signs of Pisces and for Virgo, it's a possibility for both things, and that there is a push and pull between career and personal life and their relationships as well, because Mars activates from the axis of relationships as well. For some, untruthfulness, for some, and bringing out the truth and bringing out some lies to the surface, and that creating the power struggle, this attack and counterattack. And for Virgo, it's more like the personal life that they feel more antagonized. They feel restless emotionally about some untruths in their personal life, and they need to confront them and show down. They can feel attacked or triggered by their family. There can be some power struggles with family members. There can be some emotional power struggle, but it's also very cathartic because this eclipse happens in the 4th house of early childhood and pains from the childhood. So it can be very cathartic to release in a bit of explosive way some painful experiences from the past, to break through psychological barriers and traumas and pains that you've experienced in the past, and to feel liberated there after that. So over the next 2-3 weeks, watch for this. But there's a push and pull between work and personal life, and they're the ones, Pisces and Virgo and Gemini and Sagittarius, that their life gets most affected by those eclipses in a very direct way. Confrontations, feeling attacked, provoked, and trying to keep their cards closer or think strategically as well, and tackle and attack things in their life and people and situations that are not attack them viciously, but attack, like eliminate. And this eclipse has very strong energy of eliminate, scratch forever from my life, let go of it. So there you go. Thank you so much. Do check your daily transits. on my transit calendar. It is for free, as I said. There is no such software anywhere else in the world. Check out, we have a lot of promotions now and courses. Victor is doing a webinar on where is the money, how to find the money in your horoscope. It's fantastic. His webinars always have 100, 200 people. So check this out as well. And stay cool, guys. Interesting times we're living in. I'm very soon going to make a video about the spiritual forces behind what's happening. We're going to go very deep down the rabbit hole. We're going to talk about the entities behind what's happening. We're going to talk about the actual demons and angels. And if you're interested in that, to know the very deep side of it, check out next week for videos, the spiritual forces behind the evolution of humanity. So thank you so much. Powerful times for revealing truths with this lunar eclipse. On the axis of knowledge, information, wisdom, and truth, as I said, some secrets will come to the surface that were, with Antares, it doesn't tolerate secrets, doesn't tolerate the darkness. It wants to bring it out through the sign of Sagittarius. Truth should shine. But in the process, a lot of stresses can happen, a lot of antagonization and power struggles, or internal and external war energy like. Thank you.